Over the village, a full red moon hung, the houses of the inhabitants smoldered, and only the wind could be heard. Hwi Chon sat on his knees by the hill, where he had just bid farewell to his father. The young man felt deep sorrow over the death of the only close person he loved and respected. The young man wanted to protect his village and its people. He understood that now he could do it because he possessed unimaginable power. Out of despair, the hero's hands trembled. He was angry at himself for not being able to protect his father. Hwa Yeon approached her husband. The girl wanted to be a support for the man in these difficult circumstances. The wife informed him that locals were looking for him. Those who returned from the hunt needed him to tell about what had happened in the village, and only the heir to the head could do it properly. Hwi Chon, of course, understood that the locals were now in confusion, especially those who did not see all the horrors that his dear wife had endured. He agreed with the woman's arguments. The villagers fully trusted Hwi Chon's father. The elder had tremendous authority among his people. The girl burst into tears, blaming herself for what happened to her father and their village. If it weren't for her actions, if she hadn't decided to save the little girl, everything would be different. The man quietly approached and hugged Hwa Yeon. He began to comfort her, repeating that she was not to blame for what happened. Bandits would have come to the village regardless of the original cause. The hero noticed Hwa Yeon's broken fingers and was horrified. He got a very resilient woman. Even with broken fingers, she thinks about other people, not crying from pain. Hwi Chon told his wife to use a small green ball to treat her wounds. Hwa Yeon decided that he was suggesting she use a clump of moss and was surprised. And it really turned out to be moss, only very old. The girl held it in her hands and realized that the clump was impregnated with energy, mystical water. Her husband said that this remedy heals pain and wounds. The girl put the clump in her throat, quickly chewed it, and swallowed. It didn't taste pleasant, and the clump had a specific smell. Suddenly, Hwa Yeon felt invigorating energy spreading throughout her body, and her body completely recovered. It was incredible. Her hands and body began to emit a green light. Hwa Yeon was in a state of shock. She was scared of the changes, even though she understood that they were not harmful to her. In the girl's eyes, bright green flashes sparkled. Her body filled with warmth, and a little more, and she could lose consciousness from shock. The energy from the consumed treat gradually faded, and the wounds on the girl's face caused slight discomfort, stinging, flickering, and disappearing along with the green energy. The girl was still amazed at what was happening and shockingly looked at her husband. He said for the wife to touch her face because the scars that had caused her discomfort for many years had disappeared. Hwa Yeon brought her hand to her cheek and tried for a long time to feel her scar. The skin was as smooth as a baby's. The girl could not believe this miracle. Overjoyed, the girl burst into tears. The deep scars were gone. She thought she would live her whole life with those marks. Hwa Yeon became curious about where he got this precious moss. To which the hero replied that he obtained the item in the same magical cave where he gained his unparalleled knowledge and skills. The man noticed that now their village was not a safe place. Many would want to attack them, take revenge, and simply plunder. He explained that it was necessary to appoint a good leader who could give people maximum protection in the hero's absence, and Hwa Yeon asked whom he planned to choose for this role. Hwi Chon talked about how he had long thought about his decision. He sees no one else but her, his wife, as the ruler of the village, so they can share responsibilities and lead everything together. Hwa Yeon could not imagine herself as a ruler, and how could a woman manage a village in her husband's absence? The young woman was worried and just wanted to tell her thoughts to her husband when he said that she would also have to undergo training in the caves. The hero asked what the girl thought about this option, whether she was ready to become stronger to protect her home and people from villains. Hwa Yeon agreed. She knew that her husband was a fair man, and if he says she needs to become the leader of the settlement, it will be the best solution. The man picked up his wife and asked her to hold on to him tightly because now he could move through the air. Pushing off the ground, Hwi Chon soared above the edge of the forest where they were talking. The sensations from flight were incredible. Hwa Yeon experienced something like this for the first time, and by her side was someone who would never let her be harmed. She was sure of that. The couple, surrounded by energy streams, flew over the treetops and the mountain ridge. Hwi Chon showed the girl a lake where no fish could live because of the poison in its water, and he talked about his ideas for the water reservoir. Like he did before, but now with his wife in his arms, the young man jumped into the water to reach the opposite side of the lake. On the shore, the man stood the surprised Hwa Yeon on her feet. She did not expect their journey to be so unusual. The girl looked around, studying the terrain, but the hero called her to follow him into the caves. The girl completely trusted her husband, confidently following in his footsteps and looking around. Hwi Chon led her to the monument where he had seen that same stone, sanctified by the owner. With amazement, Hwa Yeon looked around. She was in such a place for the first time, and everything new was interesting to her. The young man began his story about how these stone boxes store the secrets of unparalleled martial arts masters, and these knowledge are invaluable. He explained that thanks to this place, he was able to learn the best martial arts skills of all time. After a long period of grueling training, Hwi Chon became the possessor of Iwaja martial arts knowledge. His wife began to calculate his age. By 27 years, she added 120 years of training. It turns out, her husband was 147 years old. How could this happen? The man suppressed a smile. He continued his story, explaining that time flows differently in the cave, and 60 years here are equal to 2 hours in their native world. If you plant medicinal plants here, then after 2 days, you can harvest a ready crop. This means you can quickly grow herbs from 1,000 years ago. The girl was thrilled. It was truly a magical place. Hwa Yeon became curious about what martial arts she could study. The man pulled out a stack of books. He thought she didn't need to learn everything because there is too much knowledge for one person. Hwi Chon suggested studying the practice of martial arts and mastering the skill of optical illusions. The girl was eager. She wanted to absorb all this rare knowledge to become truly useful to the husband who trusted her. Hwi Chon asked his wife to take a book and enter the cave. The girl was a little scared and asked if they wouldn't practice together. Hwi Chon pointed with his finger and explained that the training zones were divided, and they would meet in 60 years. The wife was upset. She didn't want to return as an old woman. However, Hwa Yeon took the necessary books with her and slowly entered the cave to start her own path. Her thoughtful gaze was accompanied by her husband, who believed that the girl would be able to learn and come out to him in a few hours. Also, the young man pondered. He remembered that he wanted to improve some of his skills. Hwi Chon was not a fencing master, but he should teach the townspeople this skill, so he would have to brush up on his knowledge in this matter. The hero followed into the cave after his wife, as he also had training ahead, training necessary for the survival of their settlement. In the main building of Murim, respected members of the alliance gathered, all waiting for news about what had really happened to the Dam clan and if there was cause for concern. The elders from the Council of Nine loudly discussed the events in the Yun village and how strong Hwi Chon really was. Someone suggested arresting him, someone wanted to eliminate the threat, and others were thinking about a tracking beacon. The hall was filled with a storm of voices. The head of the council grew tired of everyone talking over each other and loudly knocked on the wooden table to get attention. Wombo suggested not making hasty decisions and not building assumptions before they reviewed the report of the team sent for data collection and reconnaissance. The man asked the travelers who arrived from the Yun village, witnesses to what had happened, to enter. Baek was surprised when only 2 entered the hall, and he did not see Myeong go among them, about which he immediately inquired from those who entered. The old man in the hat replied that the blue dragon's sword had suffered significant damage and had wounds that forced him to seek medical help. Then the council switched to its main question, who is Hwi Chon? And the great monk was asked to answer. Yun told everything he noticed while observing the young man and about how his skills are comparable in power to the strongest of Murim's elders. The monk also shared his observations. The vice leader of Murim asked if the warrior had determined which type of martial arts predominates in Hwi Chon's actions. And the giant's answer surprised everyone present because Hwi Chon's technique combines all known martial arts. The monk explained his words, telling how the boy defeated those who came with malicious intent to his village, and the elders were surprised to hear about the 4 emperors' clan. The old man in the hat confirmed the monk's words and added that a war for the title of the clan leader had begun in that clan, and this conflict could become a serious problem if it goes beyond their family squabbles. The saddest fact from this is the death of the warriors of the Blue Dragon clan at the hands of ghost twins. This situation can already be considered extraordinary and dangerous. The dragon leader himself also received injuries in a clash with these warriors. They almost destroyed the great Shaolin monk. Everything ended well for the travelers only thanks to Hwi Chon's intervention. The monk was grateful to the boy for help and the opportunity to save lives, confirming every word of his companion. However, the men were still outraged that Hwi Chon ignored Murim's directive regarding him, and they wanted to teach the young upstart a lesson. However, Yun stepped in to defend the boy, much to the surprise of his comrades. The warriors simply knew that the young lad also intended to come to Murim. This is what he explained to those present, justifying the delay in arrival with problems in the 4 emperors' clan. The leader was astonished by what he heard from the monk. Apparently, the lad was not only strong but also very self-assured, deciding to dictate his terms to the alliance. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave comments to help the new video come out as soon as possible. Have a great day.